Hey, what's going on, you guys? We are live. Going to be working on some RC cars and some RC car related stuff. So I thought I'd bring you guys down here. I wised up and I got myself a pad to sit on because I'm just sitting on a metal stool. And after a while of sitting down here working, it starts to hurt. Getting old. So I've got several things to work on. Got comp stuff going and got a new fun comp coming up. We've talked about it in the past. We're going to talk about it more. We've got a C2 class 2 to build because I don't ever do class 2. So I want to start doing class 2. Um, I've got work to do on trucks for this weekend. We'll talk about that. These are the aluminum Mias axles. So we're going to work on those a little bit. If our internet holds up here, we did have a little issue with power going out. So we'll see. It's really strong winds here, kind of a winter storm blowing in. We're not supposed to get too much snow, I guess, but some snow is in the forecast. Again, I believe. I don't know how much, but whoops. I did that. I hit the power button. Trying to make an adjustment here. Trying to adjust this. All right. Where to begin? What's up, Elijah? Where are you located? I want to try that one crawler store that you go to. We are in the Grand Rapids area of Michigan, and so Reaction RC is here in the Grand Rapids area off of Plainfield, and it was great last night. Travis set up a great course. Dana set up a great 18 scale course. Tough. Both of them were tough, but made for a good time. So let's talk about some of the things that we want to do. On this one, I don't know if we'll get to it today, but I want to remove this skid plate. It's a Robski Fab one. I don't want to remove it because it's bad. I want to remove it because I got his new one. I bought his new one, his comp one, right here. It doesn't have the little wings off it for the upper links to mount to like this stock one does. You can see it right here next to that link. The new one is just straight across there. So since I don't mount my upper links to that brace on here, we're going to want to change that out. Good morning, Lauren RC. Travis, what's going on? So I've got to work on that. I'm currently working on, this is kind of funny, these gates right here. They're like golf flags, basically, is what we're trying to make them look like. So I just took my existing gates and we're zip tying flags to them. I mean, I could have printed them with the flag on here, or I could have notched this so that it would slide down in and have a little T part on it, and then, but this is easy enough. This was actually Travis's idea, to just cut these little triangles with a notch in them and then just zip tie them to it like this. So it's working out good, Travis. That was a great idea. But what I want to do with these, and I have to be careful to make sure I do it, is I want to do one on green and one on yellow. So we have like left and right gates. So I have to be paying a little bit of attention while I'm doing it. I printed these up on my Lean printer. So this is one of the things that we'll talk about as we're just kind of going through and chatting here, answering questions or whatever people have. We'll talk about mini. We'll talk about big stuff. What's up, Will? Caught him on his lunch break. There you go. I actually, I have my Will build right here that he made. Williams RC Adventures. I just call it a Will built. Kind of became a cool kind of a name to just say, so that's what I always say whenever I talk about it. But it's this right here. What's funny is I'm like a squirrel, or no, kangaroo right now, I guess. In my pocket pouch here, I grabbed a whole bunch of stuff to bring down to the basement. I got wheels and tires and inserts and shock oil. What is it, 60 weight shock oil in here? Receivers. There's a FlySky receiver in here too. It's kind of everything that I found laying around I brought down here. So I could put them where they need to. I was doing a little cleanup down here, and I got a bunch of these. I need to get rid of them. I don't use them, so if people like these, let me know. They're good. They're Injora ones. The material they used doesn't really benefit any more than foam does, in my opinion. They kind of mimicked the idea of what everybody was doing with 3D printed inserts, except this part of it. This stuff is pretty malleable. So like the sidewall squish doesn't help a whole lot with it. So not my favorite. I would prefer a rigid 3D insert, 3D printed. They don't quite flex the same, in my opinion. So everybody can have their own opinion. Team Backman from Sweden. What's up, dude? Jeffrey Makovich. What's up, Jeff? Got the new hot. You have the new hot, or I have the new hot? So I got my wheel build here, and what I was pulling out to say was I got a 31 right here. So I need to print off another lightning bolt. I need Jeff Herrig to make me another empty wallet RC sticker, a little bit smaller. You can see the wheel built sticker back there. You could call it well built. You could call it whatever you want. Well bolt, will bolt. There's no vowels. We took the vowels out. It's more better that way. It's like Jeopardy. What's up, Woods Unknown? Guru, what is going on, dude? So yeah, I need to build a class 2 truck. I thought we'd talk about some rule stuff. We won't get into any more of Will's tricks and tips. The poor guy had to go and like rebuild all his stuff because everyone was building it like when we talked about how this one was built. So he's changed his technology and his mods so he could stay ahead of the game, which is great, which is what you should always be doing. So there, this is going to be our first hole. Why are we calling it a first hole? Well, we'll talk about that. I had an idea, and I've had this idea for a while now, a little over a year, and we're finally going to do it. So I'm excited about that. Just need to look for the numbers in here that I've already done, just so I don't mess up as I'm going here. So I already have a yellow 18, so I need a green 18. Those look mint. Thanks, man. They're, there's ways I could have done it that wouldn't be as janky as having this little piece of the zip tie sticking out, but it'll work for what we're doing, and then I can take them back off if I don't want them. Because having them numbered all the time is a bit of a pain, because then you got to find the matching number, and yeah. But for this, it kind of is going to serve a purpose. And that purpose is 18 holes. We're going golfing. Got some green, like grass material stuff that we're going to use. I did a really terrible job painting this, by the way. This was as much of a rush job as you could do, I did on this. And I was out of paint. Is there a brushless SCX30 system that works with the ESC radio? I could have sworn there is. So none of them really work with it. It's not the ESC and that work with it. It's the receiver that needs to work with it. And there is one. All that to say there is one. So Furatech made a receiver, and I have it in this truck right here. They have a receiver that works with the stock systems. Oh, shoot. And it's tiny. And it uses their little, if you get the Furatech systems, they come with the little plugs already. So it keeps everything tidy in there. And I need to reapply my sticky tape on there, because I didn't reapply it when I put this in. I just kind of tried to use the one that was there, and it didn't work. But I was in a rush to get it done. I have stuff, but it's out in the garage now because I was working on fixing my Bigfoot body the other day, and I took it out there because I was also, what else was I doing? Oh, I was using I always wipe everything down with the isopropyl alcohol. Everything just sticks better if you do that. And I'd taken it out to, I got like a spray. So the sticker machine that I have is a Lean sticker machine, Lean Cut. It's actually right here because I've been working on stuff. I'll just unplug it so I can lift it up. It's this guy, and it prints off color stickers, and then it puts a cover over them and waterproofs them. They don't stick amazingly. They stick better. Like the Will-Built ones and my logo haven't come off of here, but I went ahead and I cleaned it really good before I put them on, and so it made them stick really good. And so you have to do that in order for them to stick, and even still, they can sometimes peel up. And so what I use is 3M spray adhesive, and I just put it upside down, and I just spray another like tacky backing on it so that they definitely won't pull up. So that's kind of my cheat. The other option is I used, and I was just talking with Will about this. Missed the trash can. Where is it? This Starbond thick gap filler. This stuff is awesome. Really thick, really controlled, and you can fill gaps with it. In fact, that's one of the things I did on this. My holes kind of, I want them to be a little smaller, and so what I did is instead of reprinting it or whatever, I just filled it with the glue so that as I'll drill into it, it'll spread that glue and just kind of tighten the bite that I get there. So what that's used for is right here. I made these mounts for my body. The problem is by the time you go through the standoffs for the shocks, and then you go through the chassis and into this, a 12 millimeter 1.4 doesn't have barely anything left to bite. So what I ended up doing is I actually ground down the standoff here to get the shock up tighter to it, but so it's still off it. And then that gave me more room to go in and bite. But I also glued in through those holes so that it would kind of fill and try and keep it in a little better. I got to work on this one here. So we'll work on this. But yeah, I realized I don't have enough black on the inside of here, and I just pulled off the outside cover. Sweet. Looks like I will be doing the Sharpie method for the rest of it. Shoot. Oh well. It's just a quick job. It don't have to be perfect for what it is. But the Sharpie should actually do all right. I needed to Sharpie the outside anyway because I had some bleeding, and so that's my hack is I just go in Sharpie back over like where the green bled through my tape on that back fender, and I wanted that black, so I will just Sharpie it and call it good for now. Don't tell anybody. Total hack, but it works for video. Most of you wouldn't know. Most of you wouldn't know. And then I beat the bodies up so bad anyway that you either got to touch it up or whether it's paint or not. But Sharpie is my best friend. I use that on the Lucas Oil Stabilizer as well for all the silver stuff instead of painting it silver. Because they were kind of detailed and intricate and hard to mask off, so we just went in with the Sharpie and did it. Called it good enough. That looks nice and black now, doesn't it, compared to the other side? I'll do that at a later time. Watching from New Orleans, Louisiana. Top of the morning to you guys. What's up, Big Rob's RC? RC Nixter, what is going on, dude? I was talking about you the other day and how people don't make crawl videos like what you do very much anymore. That's what got us into crawling with so much of the trail stuff. And everything became so comp focused. And I was saying how much I love your videos and your location. And then I went on to butcher where it is that you actually live and crawl from. Newfoundland or Nova Scotia. I think I've said them all. So most people seem to buy overdrive 23% up front for the SVX30. What would be the equivalent if wanted to gear underdrive in the rear? Is it worth it? Wouldn't want it. Wouldn't it save battery and run cooler? Yeah, if you're trying to go slow and maintain your slow crawl, your better bet is to underdrive. But if you're going to put in a brushless system that's going to give you a creep anyway, you can overdrive the front. That's what I ended up doing. Overdriving the front. But yeah, I mean, if you did an underdrive in the rear, that'll basically do the same. But that would be a good amount, 23%. But I don't know, do they make a 23% underdrive? I know there was 14. So what some people would do is they do a lighter overdrive and then they would underdrive the rear to get to that number. So I don't know that there's an underdrive that's that. I'll be honest, I don't underdrive very often because I run brushless and it seems to be good enough. It seems good enough in my opinion with the overdrive. So I've just always overdriven 23%. I don't do the more. What's the other one that everyone was doing? 33%? I don't typically go that much. But I know some people do. What 3D printers are you running? These are Prusas. Mark III Plus, MK3S Plus, whatever it is. You are getting in on the pre-buy for those portable courses from Universal Rocks. Yes, I did the day they announced it. I put my money where my mouth is. I said I would. If they released it, I said I would buy one immediately, and I did. However, I didn't know how much they were going to be, and I did the 4x8, and it was $400. But I had been looking at a 12x6 because it was really the only one that had the right kind of texture, the cavern wall that they used to have, and that was looking at like $1,600. So a 4x8, which is about half that size, even less or even more than half the size, and being $400 seemed like a pretty good. Felt like they got it in at a pretty decent price point. I will say, their videos, if I were them, I wouldn't do 1/10 scale on it. I wouldn't show it that way. And people can use 1/10 scale on it. That's fine, whatever. But I don't feel like it shows off the product as well because it moves so much. And you can tell it's rubber. When an SCX30 is on it, it doesn't really move very much. That's what we used at Proline by the Fire for the SCX30 course when I was there helping out with the axial stuff. Was the Universal Rocks, and I've been looking at it ever since. I was more keened in on that than anything else that weekend. That was like, holy cow, what is this, and how do I get it? And then how do I save up for it? And I was saving up to get the big one, and then they released this one, so I just took that and put it toward the 4x8. So, yep. Didn't ask them to support me and say like, hey, I've been telling you guys, everybody about this for months. You should use me to help collaborate with you. I don't typically do that kind of thing. I don't ever go out to companies asking for anything. Which maybe that's why Injora didn't reach out for a long time. I don't know, maybe because so many people do ask, but it's just not kind of my thing. Not doing it for that reason. So I don't mind helping companies out with some product reviews and stuff, but that's not like my number one aim and goal and focus. I wonder why it doesn't show the comments on here. Oh, now it does. Sunday's going to be a blast. Yeah. Actually, oh, Tyler's up. What's up, Tyler? I bought 2 4x4 courses and they threw in 2 2x courses for free. Did you get them already, Miguel? I've been chatting with them. They did reach out to me and said, "Yo, somebody was talking about you and whatever." And so I've been messaging them. And a couple thoughts that I had was one, if they had magnetic paint on it, how sweet would that be, right, for gates? But also, it is self-healing, they say, because they're saying that you can screw it to an object. Sorry, I'm working on this for people that are wondering. It's the SX30 Endura body currently. I didn't mean to be. I just was pulling stuff out of my pockets and talking about the will build, and then I realized I needed to do some some touching up with the black Sharpie because of how terribly I painted it. I mean, it's really bad. I needed to put more black on, but it got cold and I didn't want to wait any longer, so I just kind of started taking the cover off it. So, but it's gonna still look really good, especially when it gets dusty. Nobody's gonna know. I'm just gonna add a little bit of markings here on the back too to just set it off a little bit. But yeah, going to match this guy. In fact, I might end up cutting that motor off anyway to slam it down like this one. I think about it. Not the end of the world. So I need to do a yellow sticker lightning bolt for the top. But overall, looking good. I'm better at RC golf than actual golf. Yes. Oh, I hope I am better. yeah. Yeah, that monster truck there is a Furatech one. I've got 3 of them up above. Can I? And there's so many buttons on this phone that I got to avoid hitting. That's really tough. Can I show them? There we go. So those are the FMS ones up there. And then I've been hanging my like SCX 30s and stuff over here, just on the by the axles from the pegboard. And then I have wall hangers for my SCX 24 stuff. And then a few more over there. Those ones don't get a lot of attention these days. Oh, I got a Mighty Chihuahua over there. I'm going to have to steal that. I might use that for my class 2 build. I don't know. I was thinking about not doing that because I like the idea of class 2 being a little bit cheaper stuff. So we'll see. You're going to have a G Coster paint that new chassis. I'll start sending him ideas. I saw you guys talking about pink already. I don't think so. It's pretty sweet. That chassis is over here hanging. A little bit better lighting down here than I had when I showed it off earlier. The welds on this one are sick. Yeah, I have that wall hanger right here, actually, Travis, to hang up. I just got to find a wall space where I can put it to hang a controller down from it. I think I can do it over here behind that blue monster truck. I was looking at that last night, actually. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. Will's the one that showed this one to me. And then I drove his and did awesome with it. And I was like, all right, sold. So I'm thinking with this one, we'll do that matching green with NV green. But I think we'll do actually straight black panels on these with maybe a yellow stripe or, lightning bolt. Probably do that lightning bolt theme idea. Carry that over on a few more. So oh, that's cool. The guys at Universal Rocks are looking for YouTube influencers to come tour their facility and see how the courses are manufactured if you're interested. They reached out about that. It's a bit of a drive for me from Michigan to Texas. Mark Santa Maria would probably be a better option for that since he's in Texas. But I think it'd be cool to see. I've always wondered, like, since seeing how those rocks looked, I always wondered how they did it. They show a little bit in their one video, but definitely cool. I forgot to mention you're getting an upgrade. That guy named Flu. Oh, I've already dropped off product at Mark's last night. Is this James that's in here? That guy named Flu? So I was actually going to do, and I'm going to do it to either later this afternoon or tomorrow, but my while my batteries charge podcast, I want to get, I'm going to do it on two things. I want to do it so we can do it for audio podcasts as well, but we want to do it talking about the Universal Rocks platform. Because we've talked about it on the Talk Your Face Off, because I came back hot about it from Proline by the Fire. And even then I was pitching it to people. I'm like, dude, look at this is their website. This is what the product is. But we were supposed to be showing off the new SCX 30s because nobody had their hands on them yet. And so we had 6 of them there that we were running on it. But my thing was like, where did you guys get this? And then like come back and be like, dude, this stuff that they used at Proline by the Fire is like the most realistic terrain for the SCX 30, and the ability to roll it up and take it, like, because when we got there, it was just rolled up on top of the table, and they made these wood pieces that clamp to the table as like a border for it, and then it just folded out into that. And I was showing everybody, I'm like, look, if we just lift this here, look at this line that now is that much harder. So you can run it like this, or you can shove some boxes or whatever under the corner. We can make it more difficult, which is everything they're talking about in their video. It's super sick. So I want to go into that in more detail on the While My Batteries Charge podcast. Pablo and I showed the cavern rock wall. We showed all the stuff that they had, and the cavern rock wall was sweet. It was like a red rock looking material, and it had these like the V gaps or V notches, whatever you guys call them. We had those trucks, just straddling over them and going. It looked so good. I've got so much 360 footage of that because we hung a 360 camera right down from the middle in order to do like a reaction to the people's first impressions of the SCX 30. But yeah, super cool. I'll get some more of those posted just to show people what they look like. Yes, sir. Road trip time, Tony. I know. I really want to get down there. I think it's cool, and I think behind the scenes look at how things are made in general is cool. I love when people do factory tours. I watch those kind of videos all the time, like how Reese's peanut butter cups are made. How do they get the peanut butter in a Reese's cup, right? Like, I've got so many. Unfortunately, so many of them are AI now on YouTube. Like, I'll start watching, I'm like, bam, out. I'm bailing. I'm bailing on that. I already dropped off product at Mark's last night. Dude, that's sick. So I think I said this to you in the message. That's going to be a huge upgrade for Mark's crawler course. Because he had one, and like it was, I think they could drop it out of the ceiling and all that, but so many of them were like those one-way obstacles, technically two-way, but you can't just you're following basically like paths. And so many people in the beginning got into making their courses that way, and they looked really good. You know, they're like streets that you drive along. The problem with driving on streets is it gets boring, like even in real cars. That's why we want to go off road and we want to just drive anywhere we want to drive. And so even with like the plaster cloth videos we started making about how to, if you watch or if you look, how to build a crawler course in your house, it probably will pull up my video um, showing how to use plaster cloth and texturing and using, I mean, we were using like the sealing spray that like the, what is that called? Popcorn sealing spray to texture it. We were using all kinds of different stuff. Spray foam, insulation, yeah, and then just kind of using the plaster cloth to cover it. The thing with that is you're pretty locked in. Like my basement, even though I made it in like 2x3 or 1x3 sections, it's not that easy to just manipulate the course and change it up. Where this material here is pretty sweet to change it up. Just shove new stuff underneath it and change it up. So we'll probably actually be ripping out the stuff that we built when we get ours, and we'll probably put it into that room. And we may leave some of our stuff in there so that we can kind of have a hill that it is set on. I don't know. I have some of those mountains and stuff. It may just be cool to lay it over for the time being. Again, I think in the sizes that I would use it on for the most part, I feel like the 24 scale and the 30th scale are the best on it. And the other reason being you don't see the fabric or the rubber move, the latex. So it, for video purposes, it looks super scale that way. In fact, one of the videos we did on the Orlando versus the SCX30 size comparison was on that, and it looked so good sitting on that that cavern wall. Anyway, they've got some cool stuff. I think people aren't thinking with portals. I don't know what the portals are. On the axles? Or some other kind of portal. Anyway, they have a cool product. I can't wait to get it in and start making videos on it. The other thing is the mini ones, game changer. Hold on, give me a second. I got to show you guys something. The next one I'm going to order is the mini one. I think it's a 2x2 sheet. Because when I do unboxings on my table up in my studio, I've been using this. And people ask me like crazy, hey, what's that thing you're using to do your quick test videos on? And we're just showing a little bit of the flex and stuff on this material. That little one, to just be able to throw it up on my table, up on the bench in the studio, would be sick. So this is a lie. Oh, it's a video game reference. Oh, nice. Hey, Dork in the Road. Hey, I don't know if you guys have seen Dork in the Road's channel. Funny enough, I'd seen him before RC cars on YouTube, doing like outdoor stuff with motorcycles and different things like that. And so when I saw his RC videos, I'm like, wait, what? So you guys, if you're not subbed to him yet, awesome channel, Dork in the Road. And he knows what he's doing. So he's been doing YouTube. So his stuff, I mean, is super well done right from the get-go. So I just saw you pop in. I actually just subbed to your channel this morning when it popped up. It says the cake is a lie. I thought you were talking about the Coke I had sitting here. I forgot I had a coffee down here when I came down, but yeah, definitely give them a look. I don't know why I saw it. So I saw your channel. Oh, what was the video I saw? I think it was about being new to the hobby and not understanding some of the stuff and then explaining the minis. But then you did the new Toyota. But most of the time I'm up on my TV watching and I don't bounce through and do the subscribe thing. And so I saw you on Instagram today and I made my way over to subscribe. So but the other one isn't called Dork and the Road. It's like Dork and Disorderly or something. What's the other channel name? Now I'm getting confused because I was also looking up Dorf because we're talking golf. Oh, let me talk about golf, guys. One last thing about Universal Rocks, because one of the things that I was mentioning then would be gates, like trying to think through gates and how to put them on. I actually kind of think going back to, where are those other gates? Like, where are they? Okay, here's one. I think actually going back to something like this type of gate for that would work really good. But what I would probably do is make it so that there's an inset in it that's tall enough that I can take like a thumbtack, a push pin, put it up inside so it just sticks down like a quarter of an inch or whatever, so it'll just press in. Because what I was saying earlier is it's supposed to be self-healing in that like you can screw it in and when you unscrew it, if you want to secure it to something, it should just kind of close back up to the point where you almost don't see it. So if we just do a little thumbtack type of a pin, that would be at the bottom of these and just be able to press it in so it won't move easily. That would be good. That or doing the magnetic paint. But I'm just curious about the magnetic paint on latex and one, the weight that it'll add, but two, when you roll it up, if it'll crack. Some of those things I have curiosity about, and I won't know until I get my hands on some. And maybe that'd be something I'd test on one of the smaller materials. Yeah, I need to go back in. I just quickly ordered the 4x8 one, and it said it came with the, what is the size on that thing? Let me see here. I think the other one's 2x2. I have to take my son to rock climbing here in about 30 minutes, so I was gonna wait and come back and do that other podcast after. I thought I'd get some stuff done here. I haven't actually been working very well. 4x2. Okay, so that's perfect actually for my workbench to put up on there because I just have one of those Husky ones. That's what I do my like unboxings on, and that'll be perfect. Make a hole in the top and a finished trim nail, which are basically what I'm using for these. But these just seem like it would be a little floppy in that material. Again, I don't know until I get them. And that's why I'm thinking something that's low and wider, like this, with the pin, might be perfect to just kind of stay in place and try. Again, we're just talking for SCX30s. I mean, you could probably just use a thumbtack, honestly, or something like it, or the little pins with the little colored balls on them. We're talking SCX30s here, right? So what are those pins even called with the little balls on the top? And that would be a really thin hole that it would put in. So, and even if you did something like that where you built like a little base for it, that would be pretty cool. Like maybe even just taking the bottom of this and having it go through it so you have just that nub mount sticking up as your gate, that could actually work pretty good. So if we just are taking like this much and sticking it in, that could work. Because I mean, just even that much against here, I mean, that's halfway up your wheel. Get in your, I know. You know, I got an F-250, and with the war stuff going on right now, you know how much that cost me to drive down there? Yeah, I could stop my mom just in a place down in Alabama. I could do the long route. But yeah, I would probably. All right, that's how they make it. Let's roll that one up, stick it. That's weird. I sent myself backstage. Hey, Cesar C's. I did terrible with this last night. So what I want to do is I want to weigh it, and I want to weigh it compared to. We're having internet issues here. I want to weigh it compared to this guy, because this guy I do so good with. Am I potato camming? Yeah? All right. I don't even know where I got lost. Did you hear all the stuff about how expensive it is for gas right now? Internet. A couple things I can do though. I'm gonna move my coffee so I don't get it in here. This is a Will trick. Sorry, Will. One of the things that this has that this doesn't is these axles are really angular, and so we're gonna just grind it down a little bit here. So you're not wrong, Matt. Is this one working? Won't let me back in. But this one doesn't have the microphone on. I'll try and get back in on the other one.
Trying to log in here. No internet. What in the world? Oh, because I don't have cell phone on this. I don't have cell coverage. I forgot that this is not my... You know what? Hold on. Using the old phone. Gonna try this on the new fandangled one. This might work. All right.
Oh, it's got that freaky deaky thing though. We gotta turn that off. Is that working? We'll see. It might have just worked. All right, so we just rounded that guy off like crazy. But now I need to step that down, I think, to a finer piece if I got any here. See what we got in here. Something a little smoother. Screwdriver. Yes. Just gonna try taking this off, and we'll see about putting on something else here. Maybe a little buff wheel here. Just something like that, maybe. I could probably use this wheel first and then buff it. Hit it with that guy for a minute. And then we'll switch it over to the soft pad. Here we go. Got the dog.
Yeah. It's
About 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Do you
Hey,
want to eat
buddy.
lunch?
Yeah, in a minute.
Okay. Sweet.
That's a little nacho. Just trying to smooth out some of this here. That could be right in the face. Oh yeah, that's smoothing it. Nice. So, I'm getting hit blasted by a lot of it. Whew, it hurts. See me flinching. Yeah, that's smooth. Smooth that right off. And so now we're going to magically, oh, we should do it gold. Should we make it gold? That might be cool. Let's see. Is that dumb? Yeah, it's dumb. Never mind. Not doing gold. But I am going to put this piece back on because I don't need to do what I was thinking I was going to do. So we're just going to put this back on. I was going to use one of these little buffer pads, but unnecessary. That wire brush is top notch. I thought it was a corgi. Yeah, it's a little corgi, little, what do they call that? Fawn color? Fawn and white? Where'd the comment show on? There we go. When is the tire too big for 18 scale and moved to, or 24th and moved to 18? That's up to the driver to a degree. I don't know what our limits are. Typically, what, 70 millimeter? It's pretty big. At 70 millimeter, you're going to probably want to be on 18. We run up through like 65 typically in 24. 63 is pretty popular. Bigger than that, and you're usually disadvantaging yourself, honestly. It raises your center of gravity so much. So there we go. Just hit this with a little Sharpie. Call it good enough. It's going to rub right off when we hit the rocks, but... So why am I working on this right now? Well, let's talk about it. I'm doing a little special comp. I've been trying to do this, and I've been talking about it for years. I kind of did it at the Gauntlet at one point. You could hear on 2 years ago at the night part of it, where I start just kind of giving like whispering golf type commentary about what the guys are doing. And it made me realize I wanted to do some kind of a golf style comp video. And that's morphed over time from what I wanted it to be. So the idea is, in fact, I've got rules and stuff. I got everything right here. We can talk about what it is before I have to go here. There's probably a stopping point for that. That's going to help a lot, first of all, rounding that off. Surprising how much that little angular stuff gets caught. And that's something that Will has really worked on these ones and smoothed out. I've still got to do the back here, but I'm more worried about the front one, honestly, than the rear. So that might be all I do on it for now. So here's the idea with the golf thing, and I don't care if people steal it, whatever. I think it's a good idea, and it would be fun to watch as a viewer. So I got to get these little 2x2 things off me. Here's our golf comp score sheet that I was working on yesterday. First thing we did is we lowered the points, so it'd be more like golf points. You know, we have kind of a weird structure anyway, where like reverse is 3 points, gate is 10. So basically it takes 3 of them to match up with what that penalty is. We're doing reverse as 1 point. It's technically 4 to be over it. If you did 4, you'd be worse than a gate hit. So we're doing reverses are 1 point, gates are 4 points. So if you hit a gate, it would take 4 reverses to match up to that amount of point that you've taken against yourself. Winches, we're doing 2 points. So 2 winches would be the same as somebody hitting a gate. 3 points, and a hand of God is 5 points. One of the things that I haven't really understood is why Hand of God isn't more points than a gate. In my opinion, it's worse than actually driving and just bumping into something. I mean, you have rolled over the car. You've had to now actively do something that's no longer driving the car. That to me is worse than tapping a gate. So, that's kind of why we do it. We want it to be a driver course. We charge points because we want to be able to overcome the deficit of a gate. You don't want gates to be like, oh, I'm going to lose because I hit a gate. You could potentially still win if you're driving and you tap one gate, but somebody else is just afraid and they're winching everything and they're reversing all the time. So we want there to be a way to maybe balance the scales a little bit from a gate hit. But the reason we just lowered it because golf, you have low scores. So what we'll do is we'll probably make par for what the course would be too. So it's kind of like golf. It doesn't really mean anything because it's really the lowest score no matter what. But what we're doing with it is we're going to have gates set up and we're going to have little pieces of grass at the start. And we're going to use 2 golf tees as kind of where you start behind. And then you'll start on this little fake piece of grass and it's about the size of a car, so whatever this size is, 6 by 5 by 8, whatever it is. Truck has to start on that, and one guy is going to run all the way through the end of hole 1, and then he's going to get ready at hole number 2, but he's going to wait. Going to mark down his score for hole 1. The next guy is going to run hole 1, and that way everybody will know where they are as you're going through the competition. And this is mainly for video reasons, but I think it also just makes it so that you want to drive the whole time that you're driving, because if you know that somebody already is done with the course and let's say they got a 16, but you're on hole 5 and you're at 20, you already know you're not going to win. So, and you know that guy isn't going to stand the chance of maybe still making a mistake where you could catch up. And so what we're trying to do is make it so that as people want to watch a video, comp videos are kind of interesting, and it's either like me just filming myself at a comp and saying what I got and then saying what other people got, or it's just a random montage of people at the comp. So, Zays, I'm gonna put you in timeout if you don't knock it off and not getting a shout out if you're just kind of being annoying in the chat, bud. But yeah, so the goal is to make it something that people. There was the whole thing with the old RC Sparks where he'd do the competition-based stuff, and you were rooting for one of the guys or another guy. And so, yeah, we're going to randomize it for the start, and then the plan is so that everybody eventually has to start a hole and that way you also get to watch how people do the thing. Is we'll start with one person at the front of the line. They'll move to the back of the line for the next hole. The guy that was second will start the next hole. He'll then go to the back of the line, the guy that was in second for that hole. So you'll always kind of be following the guy in front of you. But whoever starts is going to change. And that way, if you're watching, it's hard if you're always first because you don't get to see how the course reacts or responds or whatever. And so we want to try to make it so that everybody has a fair advantage on at least 1 or 2 holes seeing what other people did before they make it. So, but yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, mostly it's like a regular comp. We actually got rid of the rollover rule. I don't like the rollover rule. It's confusing and it's hard to know, and some people blame each other about cheating or ours is like if you have 2 wheels touching, you can winch it over and you just take a winch point. Then it's like, well, are 2 wheels touching or are they not? How is it? It's just there's too much ambiguity and questioning. we're just saying there's no rollover rule. It's just you have to get yourself winched back over to your wheels. You're going to take the winch point and you're going to be facing whatever direction you were when you got flipped over. You just have to play it where it lies and winch it over somehow, and then get back. If you don't think you can do that, you can hand of God it and put it back. Like if you fell down a whole mountain and there's no way to get back up it, you're gonna have to hand of God it to the top. It's just that easy. Or if you think I'll never make it, whatever, let's just pick it up and put it there, then you can hand of God it. But we're not doing like touch reposition on your lid, just flip it over, any of that. It's no, just winch it over where you are. If you flipped upside down weird, figuring out how to winch yourself back over and get you pointing in the right direction, that's on you and your winch guy. We're not going to give it anything more than a winch point. So that way we're not having to worry about that rule. So we have gates, we have reverses, we have winches, boundaries, and hand of God, and that's it. Hopefully that'll help get rid of some of the stuff people bicker and argue about. The way I would really want to do it is like, man, if you roll over, that's points. Like, one, you get points because your truck rolled and hit its lid, whatever. That's just, 3 points. Plus you have to winch over. So that's another, that's how I would do it. But again, it comes down to, are we trying to be good drivers or not? And so people are trying things and they're trying not to use. And, but in the real world, they don't really count for it, but they also don't score them the way we do. It's all about time, and rolling over affects your time a lot. And I saw somebody that said they don't count winches. If we were doing time-based, we wouldn't count winches either, because you're really racing the clock at that point, and any winch is a slowdown for you. So, but for us, we don't do time-based. We're just going for the lowest score, and that's just how we play the game. And so we're trying to award driving ability, and having to use a winch means that your truck isn't set up right, or you can't figure it out. You're not hooking up. Your tires aren't the right tires, whatever. You don't have your truck balanced right. You name it. It's whatever it is. So, what happened to RC Sparks? He's still going. He just posted some stuff recently. So, anyway, that's what we're going to do. The reason we're doing it that way, again, is for the golf comp, for the video, because I think it'll make it more entertaining along the way. Plus, it makes us all kind of, if you're down by 3 and you're watching your buddy who's, beating you by 3 points, you're going to be hoping and, kind of bantering with each other about, oh, you should take a winch here, or don't take one because you're behind. You try and drive it. I think it'll just make it so that you're kind of having fun, and everybody's watching. So there's no everybody's a judge at that point, like watching for gates or watching for penalties, because all eyes are going to be on and everybody's going to be watching. And it's fun to watch everybody drive. That's half the fun, is getting together and seeing how everybody does it. It just makes for a fun day. So that's what we're going to do. Also, it opens up ideas for doing like golf scrambles where you do it as teams, and on each hole you choose, whoever got the best driving score from your team, and you use that for that hole. But everybody has to be used a certain amount of times, right? So then it's like, do we use him on this because he got a decent score, or can we count on him on another hole down the road? It just makes for a kind of a fun environment. But you could do it with other scoring and whatever. It's just kind of what we came up with for the low points. Originally, we were just going to keep it more the regular way with like 10-point gates. I think we were saying like 5-point winches. Again, so it's like a double. 2 winches would recover a gate. And then reverses would be like 3 points. And then hand of God would have been like 12 or 15. Again, I think hand of God should be a bigger penalty than anything, because it's no longer driving. So side trash talking. Exactly, John Martin. What's up, these old flapping lips? We're just getting off. I got to run my son out to Holland, and I got to grab some food before I go, so I don't have to eat out. So I'll be back on later, but I'll probably end up doing the podcast I was talking about. That was one of the things I wanted to do today. I'm trying to keep up with that podcast more often, but I'll do that over in the studio with the camera and the nice microphone, because I want to talk about the golf comp idea um, in a way that, you know, people can listen in the podcast form and kind of less live like this. And then also talk about the Universal Rocks and the coolness of what they're doing for the community and that they're available, but being able to show it on their website and all that, having all that kind of prepped and set up. So I got a couple of things done that I wanted to. I don't know if you guys are like me, but the reason I had all that stuff in my pocket was I was looking for wheel weights. Will told me to buy wheel weights for this truck that putting brass in would help. And I bought them, but it's been driving so good that I'm like, I'm not going to put them in until I feel like I actually need them because I've been doing so good with this whenever I run it. However, this truck needs weight. Yeah, I can't find the wheel weights. It's been 2 months since Will built this, and I have no idea where I put them. I know I bought them. I've looked on all the hooks here. I've looked behind stuff. I went upstairs. I went to the studio, looked up there in case I was working on a build up there. I have them. Like, I sold wheel weights for a while, like these rings, but they don't feel as heavy. They don't feel as thick to me. I don't know. I don't feel like it's that much weight. So I hate that I can't find them. It's driving me crazy. I checked through all these bins because that's where I keep parts too, like that. Because for a while they lived up on my desk, like with these wheels here that I bought. But I don't know. Don't know. But this one needs some. Somebody was asking about mini bikes earlier. So yeah, I don't know where they're at. It's a bummer. I'm gonna put this back away. And then what time is it? Yeah, I gotta get around. It's 1 o'clock. So I might be missing lunch. Yes, we actually, if you check out, we're just starting up a what are all these? Oh, sweet. Bunch of spare parts. We just started a mini bike channel that we call Bomb Squad Garage, which is the backyard outlaw mini bikes. Basically, we wanted something that would sound cool and be cool for logo purposes. But we want to start racing them here with just friends and maybe a few other people from the area that we don't know but are interested. Since it's at our house, that's a by invite, so people can reach out about it on the website if they went to Bomb Squad Garage. Just go to ccxrc.com, and over on the far right, there's a Bomb Squad page. You can see it there. I could actually link it probably on YouTube here. BOMB Squad SQUAD Garage GARAGE. See if it'll pull it up. I'm on the wrong link. So anyway, just a fun way to get together with friends and race some slow-ish mini bikes. You probably have to write mini bikes after Bomb Squad Garage. We're not known enough at this time. Plus, I actually called it Backyard Outlaws is what the actual channel name is. I just felt like maybe I would get flagged for using Bomb Squad. I don't know. Here. What's up, Kurtz RC? I'm actually just getting off to take my son up to go rock crawling. I'm going to come back, but I'm going to go do... whoops, I posted twice. I'm going to come back, but I'm going to do a... it'll still be a live stream, but it'll actually be one of the podcast ones where it's less interacting with the chat stuff. So I'll still interact with the chat some if there's things that are relevant to it, but that podcast one, I really try to make it. Started as an audio podcast only, and it was recorded. And I try to keep that format, but being live, I admit I still watch and I read and I comment on a lot of the comments, but it's really more for, I just do it for the recording thing, so I don't have to go back and upload and do all that. So I record it live, so I don't have to deal with it later. But there's probably metal shavings in that coffee from all that grinding. All right, guys, thanks for jumping in here, and we'll catch you later.